Please read the disclaimer. Hello, beautiful people. Shalom, money makers. We have a super duper important day in the markets with some tariff game changing things that could happen. We'll also talk about what's happening with Japan that is unraveling a little bit. Some of the big banks there are having some issues. We'll talk about that. And the market, yes, after the fierce sell off yesterday, we've seen a little bit of a break for now. We'll talk about that as well. All I ask from you is that you give me a beautiful smile to send out those good vibes. Clickety clack, smishity smash that like button, and let's get into it. So, currently, XRP is sitting at $2.23, up a percent, 1.2% so far, right? And this, I'm recording around 11 my time. We're in the green. Okay, we had the low there of 206, and we were able to bounce off that. Bitcoin dropped under 100,000 for a short period of time and was able to bounce off of that. And interestingly, the crypto fear actually rose yesterday, which I thought, and this is, a surprise to me, I thought we'd be in the teens with that sell-off. And yet, for some reason, the crypto fear did not drop to those levels. Very surprising. What do you think? Why? Why did that happen? It's interesting. By the way, I wanted to start that Telegram group. So if you're interested, write in the comment section, happy, right? And then I'll know that these people are interested and that it's going to be worthwhile, right? We should open this group, okay? So write in the comment section, happy. We're going to send out good vibes, okay? People that are not watching the video won't understand why everybody's commenting happy. Ethereum, Solana, again, still 1%, 0.5% up. But still, like low levels. Something interesting, and I don't know if this is a litmus test or a catalyst, right? But my dad, my pops, he sends me articles, right? And one of the articles that he sent me was an article talking about how it says Bitcoin crashing, the coin goes to 5 digits only, right? And usually when he sends me in the past articles like this of the current state of the crypto market, it usually signals a bottom. I'm not saying that it's going to happen the same thing. Again, this is just my experience, my opinions, not financial advice. Always your own due diligence before you decide to invest. It's for educational, for entertainment purposes only, okay? But this is just what I've seen before. When the Pops is sending me these kind of articles, it usually means that we're kind of close to the bottom, but we'll see. Again, we still have the gap at 92,000 that still has me concerned, and it could be very fast to close that gap. Okay, so again, there's a lot of signals that are telling us that this might be the end of this pullback, but we have experienced before surprises. We've experienced things that have gone against what we thought and what we were seeing. So we always have to be careful. And another thing that is happening is that the US Supreme Court is going to be ruling on the tariffs, right? And they could change everything, right? And I didn't know this. And so there was a lot of factors into yesterday's sell-off. This could be one of the factors. Another factor is the fear that we're going to have uncertainty with the tariffs. Remember how the tariffs crashed the market? Well, more uncertainty could cause this. And it's not just in the US, but Japanese stocks, the Nike 225, plunging again, having issues, right? This morning dropping a little bit more, right? And not only it's Japan, but Japan's SoftBank stock is down 15% yesterday and 2-day decline of 22%. it's one of the biggest investors in companies in the US and around the world in tech stocks, and so they're taking a hit. And this kind of smells concerns, because we've talked about the Japanese situation and how a lot of the movement that happened over the past 4 or 5 years has come because of the fact that the Japanese government had made interest rates so low, and a lot of yens were taken out in order to invest in assets. And when they started raising back interest rates, then we had that Japan carry trade sell off last year in August of 2024. And the Japanese government has stated that the situation is not great and similar to the crisis that we saw in Greece a few years back. So they could also be selling off assets. A lot of the selling that we are seeing is coming from the East Asian markets. And so, again, that's something to take into consideration. A lot of my viewership here is US based, US, UK based, but a lot of the trading that goes on, a lot of the movement that happens is big whales from Asia, East Asia, that have accumulated a significant amount of crypto along the years, and they manipulate the market. They sell off, they do shenanigans, right? So I know sometimes we live in a little bit of a bubble, right? But we have to remember that a lot of what happens there also can be affecting the market. And if the Japan market is falling off, it for sure could affect the crypto market, and we have to take that into consideration. Pre-market, nothing too extreme here. Minus 0.2% on the Nasdaq, Dow flat, and S&P minus 0.1. The US government still seems that it's going to continue with the shutdown. And so we'll see what happens with that. Of course, it would be better if it doesn't. I think it's the longest ever, right? If I read correctly. So that's not great either, right? And yet the stock market is very, very close to all-time high. And even, Bitcoin, remember, and the crypto market, back in a year ago, September, October, we were at 50,000, 60,000. XRP, of course, was at 50 cents, right? Last October. So again, yes, we've pulled back, we've pulled down a little bit. But if you are a long-term investor and you long-term invest, then, these pullbacks, it doesn't really affect you outside of the number in your portfolio. And of course, if you're leveraged, right, how much leverage did we see get shaken off? And I'm telling you, a lot of this leverage, 1.72 billion, a lot of the leverage is high leverage, meaning it's people that are, coming in and trying to make, so you have to be careful with that. Okay. I'm careful. You know why, right? I don't want another vacation, a 2-week vacation. So we'll see what potentially happens here in the markets in the next day or so with all these things happening. We did see that China is going to suspend some of their tariffs, the hike to 24 and maintain it at 10. So that is good. And we had the president also tweeting out, and so it begins. What is this relevant to? What is he referencing? I don't know. So we'll see. A lot of things are happening, and we still have people, and again, and I'm one of them, that think that long term we should be good, right, in the crypto market. But short term, there can still be lots of volatility. Okay. And Raul Paul says here, I know no one wants to hear bullish ideas, and everyone is scared and wanting to, but the road to Valhalla is getting very close. If global liquidity is single most dominant macro factor, then we must focus on that. Remember, the only game in town is rolling this amount of debt. Everything else is a sideshow. This is the game of the next 12 months. Currently, the government shutdown has forced a sharp tightening of liquidity as TGA builds up with nowhere to spend it. This is not offset by the ability to drain the repo reserves. It is drained, and QT drains it further. This is hitting markets, in a particular crypto, which is the most liquidity driven. TradeFi asset managers have had one of their worst years of performance versus benchmark and are now having to chase markets, and that is allowing tech to be more stable than crypto. 401k flows help too. If the liquidity drain keeps going longer, stocks will get hit hard too. However, as soon as the government shutdown ends, the Treasury begins spending 250 to 350 billion in a couple of months, QT ends, and the balance sheet technically expands. The dollar will likely begin to weaken again, and liquidity begins to flow. Tariff negotiations will have largely been completed, removing uncertainty. But again, we have that Supreme Court decision. We'll see about that. Ongoing bill issuance increases, adding more liquidity via bank balance sheets and money market funds and stable coins, ongoing rate cuts, and so on, right? Clarity Act, the big beautiful bill, China. Like there's a lot of good things that could potentially happen here in the short term, right? And also, it's a full moon today. That's usually, and there are people that believe that the full moon is, a time that might be the lowest point of the cycle. We'll see. I don't know. It's some people, believe in that. It's works sometimes. It doesn't work sometimes. As always in the markets, nothing is every single time, right? If that happened, then everybody would use it, and everybody would be with the private jet, right? And that's not the case. Okay, so we have to remember that there are risks in the crypto market. It is volatile. It's not for everybody. There's ups and downs. There's days where everything's red. There's days where everything is green and going up and everything is beautiful. And there's other days that actually some people find beautiful as well, where the market sells off. And we have to remember that there's always going to be the risks in that. Again, if you want to join the email list, you can sign up here in the Moneymaker Avilev kit, right? And you can see here, you can also get the indicator as a gift if you sign up to one of my partners. So if you're interested, link is in the description down below. Also, the Telegram group, if you're interested, comment happy, and then I'll know that you're interested. And of course, smash that like button. Again, not financial advice. Always do your own due diligence before you decide to invest. Also, remember that I will never contact you on social media asking you to sign up to anything or to do anything. Those are imposters. I just reported 2 on Twitter yesterday, so be very, very careful out there, okay? If you see anybody impostering me, send me a DM on Twitter, and I'll try to get them reported as well. I've got a lot of them reported and taken down, but they pop back up. So if you see any, let me know, okay? Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you next time.